All right, it is now day 37 of the government shutdown, and although senators are negotiating today, they are not voting on a measure to end this shutdown. So the days are just stacking up here, and the government shutdown will start hitting Minnesota travelers tomorrow. MSP is one of 40 airports where the FAA has ordered a 10% reduction in flights, and we are starting to see some of the impacts today, with more than 5,300 flights into or out of the U.S. delayed today. Fox 9's Corin Hoggard is live at MSP Airport right now. And Corin, this may be inconvenient, of course, for some of the travelers, but it's really addressing some serious safety concerns.
Yes, Simone, both TSA officers and air traffic controllers have been working without getting paid for the entirety of this government shutdown, more than 5 weeks now. And so there has been some attrition in those jobs, people leaving the jobs or people just not showing up to work because they need to do other things or they can't afford it because of daycare or gas issues. And so with a lot of them being gone, not as many people watching us going into the airport, not as many people watching us from the towers back here, the FAA decided it's probably best to just start cutting flights.
This is just another safeguard that the secretary is putting in because he knows and he's seen the strain on the system, especially the air traffic controllers.
You know, the worst case scenario here is that in making these 10% reductions starting tomorrow, there is going to be a cascading effect, a snowball effect that flights, you know, not just thousands, but potentially tens of thousands of flights every single day.
And what travel experts like Kyle Potter there are worried about is the fact that most of the airlines don't usually do it very well when they run into kind of an issue like this, when they have, say, a snowstorm. So he's worried that, you know, the 10% reduction will snowball into something a lot worse.
Yeah, of course, so the snowball effect will kind of be like a worst case scenario here. But what we know right now for sure is that there will be some trouble for some people starting tomorrow. Do we know how much trouble we're talking? And will travelers know if they are in fact impacted?
Yeah, absolutely, Simone. This airport usually last year ran about 850 passenger flights per day, so you can expect about 85 flights to be reduced off of the schedule by the end of next week. They'll start it gradually tomorrow, maybe 3 or 4%, so probably 30 or so, 35 maybe flights that'll get taken off the schedule. But, you know, some of the airlines are trying to save a lot of their routes. Delta, for example, told us that they're not going to cancel any of their international flights out of MSP here. But that just means that if you are traveling in the next few days or as long as this goes on, you better check with your airline to see if your flight is impacted.
Yeah, and as we head into the weekend, you can only imagine how many people probably have, you know, some flights booked. Corin, how quickly can this be reversed if there is an agreement to end this shutdown? Is it like flipping a switch, or what does that look like?
Yeah, especially, you know, we're thinking about Thanksgiving travel not that far away, so we need to know. The union leaders for the air traffic controllers told me it may not be so easy as flipping a switch because they already had a shortage. They were starting to address it and kind of build up their ranks, but because of this, they've lost several air traffic controllers, and they're worried that, you know, there may be some semi-permanent damage. But, you know, as soon as the shutdown ends, they will go back to work. They may not get paid immediately, but they'll be there. And the schedules, as far as all the flights are concerned, should return to normal fairly quickly. They say maybe in a couple or 3 days.
And hopefully the government shutdown will end soon because we are starting to see the really big effects here. Corin Hoggard reporting live tonight at MSP. Thank you, Corin.